When did you have to choose between two lives? I was the building manager for this crappy apartment complex in Detroit. Third floor, corner unit, me and my dog, Rusty. Rusty was this old golden retriever mix I'd found behind a dumpster 2 years back. Missing an eye, gray around the muzzle, but loyal as hell. It was around 2 a.m. when I woke up to the smell of smoke. Not cigarette smoke, thick, burning plastic kind of smoke that makes your throat close up. I opened my door and black smoke was pouring down the hallway like a river. Someone's kitchen must have caught fire. I grabbed Rusty by his collar and started running down the stairs, pounding on every door I passed. The smoke was getting thicker with each step. Most people were already awake, families stumbling out with kids in their arms, old Mr. Jackson from 2B coughing so hard I thought he might collapse. That's when I heard it. A baby crying. Not the wailing kind, the weak, struggling kind that makes your stomach drop. I looked down at Rusty. He was shaking in my arms, whimpering every time we breathed in the smoke. His one good eye was watering from the burn. We were almost to the second floor, almost safe, but the crying was coming from apartment 3C, the Hendersons. They had a 3-month-old baby girl named Grace. I'd helped fix their leaky faucet just last week while she slept in her carrier. The smoke was getting worse. Orange light was starting to flicker from somewhere below us. The fire was climbing. I had maybe 30 seconds before the stairwell became a death trap. I could keep going and get Rusty outside safe, or I could turn back and maybe save the baby, but probably not both of us would make it out if I went back. Rusty looked up at me with that one eye, trusting me completely. He'd been through hell before I found him. He deserved better than dying in this burning building. I put him down on the steps and pointed toward the exit. He didn't move, just sat there staring at me. "Go!" I yelled, pushing him. "Get out of here!" He whimpered once, then turned and limped down the stairs as fast as his old legs could carry him. I watched him disappear into the smoke before I turned around and ran back up. The hallway was an oven. The Hendersons' door was cracked open, smoke pouring out like water from a broken dam. I kicked it all the way open and crawled inside on my hands and knees where the air was cleaner. The baby was in her crib in the back bedroom, coughing but still breathing. Her parents must have gotten out already and somehow missed her in the chaos. It happens faster than you think in a fire. People panic. I wrapped Grace in the blanket from her crib and held her tight against my chest. When I got back to the hallway, the carpet was already smoldering. The flames had reached our floor. No way through. The stairwell was completely blocked. I ran back into the apartment and kicked out the bedroom window, punched through the screen with my fist. We were 3 stories up, but people had gathered below. I could see Rusty down there, some guy in a hoodie holding him by the collar. "Catch her!" I yelled down. "I'm dropping the baby!" The guy in the hoodie positioned himself right below the window. I counted to 3 and let go. Grace fell wrapped in that pink blanket like a little bundle. The guy caught her perfect, like he'd been practicing his whole life for that moment. My turn. I backed up to get a running start, took a deep breath of smoky air, and jumped. I hit the fire escape landing hard, felt my ribs crack like twigs, but I held on and climbed down rung by rung while the building burned above me. The EMTs arrived while I was sitting on the curb, holding my side and watching the flames eat through the 3rd floor. My lungs felt like I'd been breathing glass. Every breath was agony. They rushed me to the ER. I drifted in and out for 3 days. When I finally woke up, the first thing I saw was Rusty curled up at the foot of my hospital bed. One of the nurses said the guy who caught Grace had been bringing him to visit every day. My lungs were scarred up pretty bad. Doc said breathing would never be quite the same, but Grace was fine. Not even a scratch on her. And Rusty was there, gray muzzle resting on my feet like he always did when he was worried about me. The fire department said the baby would have died from smoke inhalation within minutes if I hadn't gotten her out when I did. Grace's parents came by later with flowers and tears, saying they'd lost track of her in the chaos and thought she was already outside with Grandma.